incredible flavours, even better stories. One pour, 10 minutes, Aussie bourbon lovers sharing bourbon with Australia.
Well, tonight there's no pop. We're still in dry July. And tonight we're taking a throwback to when we talked to Caryn about Green River.
That's right. Caryn Wells, the National Brand Ambassador from Green River. We poured the wheated bourbon and she told us about the difference between the rye and wheated expressions and taught us a little bit about how to taste and how to kind of enjoy bourbon if you're coming to it new. This is a cool chat. She shares heaps and settle in. And if you're not drinking a water, have a listen and see if there's some pointers you can pick up about how to taste your bourbons.
The best one being drink it how you like it.
Cheers.
I like my water with bubbles in it.
Oh, that was a good one. Oh, no, it went everywhere.
What are we drinking, Dave?
It's just...
We're joined by Caryn Wells again from Green River, the National Brand Ambassador. This is the wheated bourbon, Caryn, that's what we're having.
Yeah, this is really good. This one, we decided to do something different that most distilleries don't do this, but this is the mirror image of our flagship, our flagship is 70 corn, 21 rye, 9 malt. Today what we have is 70 corn, 21 wheat. And we use soft red winter wheat on this. The grain actually is red in color. It's actually softer and it's actually sweeter. So what you can do by getting both of our bottles is you can literally compare the difference between a wheated bourbon and a high rye bourbon. So I think that's really fun for the consumer because so many times I hear people saying, "Oh, I like wheated bourbon," or I don't know what I like. Okay, well, here's two that are identical, and now you can decide for yourself which one fits your palate better.
Great, and so literally everything. So the barrels, every other grain except for the one grain that's at exactly the same percentage.
Yeast strain was the same. We use number 4 char on all of our barrels, so everything's identical, and that makes it really fun. Not only for me as someone who's talking about it and showing people, but again on the consumer side. I talk to so many people, and some people are trying to get into bourbon, and I'll hear, their friend tell them, "Oh, we'll start with a wheated bourbon. It's sweeter. It's going to be easier on your palate." But that's not always true for everybody. All of our palates are different. So I think when you have a product that is literally is identical, same age, same mash bill, same yeast strain, you really can see the difference and decide which is better for your palate.
Amazing.
That's fun.
And I love this because your background is teaching, and then you served as a firefighter. And one of the things that we're excited to talk to you about is the way that you kind of guide guests at Green River through, and all around the US, through the tasting experience. Because over here, we don't, most Australians experience a bourbon is to drink it with Coke, and that's kind of all they got.
Yeah,
so
or straight out of a can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So can you guide us through a bit of like what should we be doing when we've got some bourbon in a glass, and how should we be tasting it? What should we be looking for?
Yeah, sure. So I think the biggest thing for me is there's 2 ways to nose bourbon, and I always tell people this because you got to figure out which way works best for you. The most common way is everybody puts their nose in the glass and they open their mouth and they breathe in, and they'll go low, they'll go high on the glass, and they breathe, and I'll hear people go, "Oh my, I'm getting the caramels, I'm getting the brown sugars, I'm picking up the spices, I'm picking up the mint on the north side of the mountain." I don't know what that is, but they say that. So that works for some people, but it doesn't work for me. All I get when I smell that way is I smell alcohol. So I actually prefer to nose it a second way, which is keeping your mouth closed and then slowly going back and forth underneath each side of your nose, because one side of our nose has better sensors in it than the other, and it will change. What we've eaten that day, what we've if we take medications, all those things affect our palate. So if you only nose a bourbon one way, you're going to do yourself and that bourbon an injustice. You really need to try it several different ways, no matter when or what you're trying.
I definitely get that sweeter smell when I go from side to side.
Yeah.
It's like
it's really
much
wild,
sweeter.
isn't it?
It's wild that all of those different things you get different scents. That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, same glass and different.
Yeah. Yeah, different things. And and I'll hear some people say, don't swirl it like you would a wine. That's not true. Especially with our product, it's a high corn content. Corn grows with oxygen, therefore corn opens up with oxygen. So if you let it, I like to make my pour and let it sit for about 10 minutes. If I haven't let it sit, then I like to just go ahead and swirl it and let it get some oxygen in there, because again, you go back, you'll get a whole different set of aromas out of it.
It's crazy.
It's really wild.
And then, so once we've kind of got it kind of on the nose, then what,
Yep.
And particularly people who are like new to having it in their palate, in their mouth, what's the best next thing?
Yeah, so I always tell you, got to take 2 to 3 sips. The first sip is going to hurt. There's just no way around it, especially if you're not used to drinking high-proof alcohol, High-proof alcohol sits different than beer and wine. And so the first, like this one, is 45% alcohol. So, that ABV is going to be really a shock to your palate. So you got to shock the palate, and then you come back for your second and third sip, and that's when you actually taste the bourbon.
Mm-hmm. And the
And
Kentucky Chew, is that the right way of thinking of this?
Yeah, you call it Kentucky Chew. I say swish it around like you're doing mouthwash. You want to hit all of those sensors in your palate, and for some people, it's going to have that when you swallow. You're going to go, "Dear God, what did I just do?" But the rest of us are going to go, "Oh, that's not bad," and then you're going to come back in a couple of minutes and you're going to take another sip and you're going to go, "Oh, wow, now I'm starting to understand this. I'm starting to get those flavors." And it's really not as bad. But it's very intimidating at first when you're trying to drink high proof alcohol.
Yeah, when I first in uni started drinking whiskey, I always had it with Coke. It was like just as a mixer. And then I think it was our adventures to Kentucky and New York that I would have it like on ice. And then very recently I've decided that it's much better neat. It's been a progression over a long time. Do you have a favourite way of drinking it?
So don't judge me, but when I first started drinking bourbon, I drank it with Mountain Dew. So the origins of Mountain Dew, it was made as a chaser for whiskey. So I still encourage people, if you're trying to like bourbon, and we're talking about the sweets that are coming out of it, and you're like going, "There's nothing sweet in this, it's just harsh." Well, then if you add the Mountain Dew to it, you will start to, you'll get the flavors of the bourbon, but it's not going to be the harshness to your palate. And then ultimately, you will start backing off. Like I would do bourbon and Mountain Dew, and then it was bourbon and Mountain Dew and bourbon. And before you know it, I didn't have any Mountain Dew in there because my palate understood the flavors. So Sprite, ginger ale, Mountain Dew. I tended to go to the clear spirits only because I could see how much was in there versus the dark spirits where it could get ugly real quick.
Yeah.
But that's the dark mixers are.
The mixers,
So,
yeah.
The dark mixer. So do what fits you. I mean, cranberry juice is a great mixer. There's a lot of different things. Start with a cocktail. I don't know how big espresso martinis are over there, but are they big? Then get it with bourbon.
With bourbon.
Yeah.
And so what are we
Then
just swapping out the
get it with
vodka for bourbon?
Wow, have you tried that, Dave?
I don't think I've ever had that.
I'm not a coffee drinker. Dave loves coffee. I can't stand it. But espresso martini with
once
bourbon,
you do
Dave.
that, once you do that, it's really hard to go back.
Okay.
It adds all those different flavors. Like if I want my espresso martini sweeter, I'll use our wheated bourbon. If I want it to have a little bit more oomph to it, then I'll use our high rye bourbon. So that's one of my go-tos. A good old whiskey sour is great. You're gonna get those flavors, but it's not just all up in your face. So enjoy it however you want to enjoy it. I always tell people, taste the bourbon neat to help your palate start to understand it, but you enjoy it however you want to enjoy it. There's no right or wrong.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I love about bourbon. Like the people, the stories, but the fact that it's kind of like have it so many different ways, but have it how you like it.
How you like it, yeah. If you're wanting to become more of a connoisseur on it, then again, taste it neat. And if it just isn't sitting right, then mix it. Who cares? The fact is that there's a lot of history here. there's a lot of great stories, and you can always share some good times with people over a nice pour, whether it's on the rocks, neat, or in a cocktail. There's no right or wrong.
Yeah, so true.
That's so good. And do you have a favourite way that you like to enjoy it yourself? Do you still sometimes put Mountain Dew with it? Are you mostly always neat now?
Yeah, no, I haven't tried the Mountain Dew thing in a long time. I may have to go back and revisit it, though. That's been many years ago now. Typically, I drink my bourbon neat. I do like an old-fashioned every now and then. I like a paper plane. That's another one that I enjoy. And more recently, if I'm out and I know I'm going to be up for a long time at night, then I get it in an espresso martini. Because, a lot of places now are making it with real espresso. So I know that shot's going to keep me up for a while. It all depends on the mood. If I'm sitting at home, then it's usually neat and I'm just sipping on it. And I typically, my go-to is going to be our original, our black label high rye bourbon. I just really enjoy that. I enjoy how it opens up. But it all depends on my mood, really. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, a good bourbon cream. I was playing around a couple of years ago. And I got some raspberry preserves that were seedless. And then I added a little bit of the Demerara sugar and muddled that up together, added some chocolate bitters, and then muddled all that really good. And then I added like half and half or heavy whipping cream, and I shook that. And obviously had bourbon in there, and then poured it over ice, and it was like a really good chocolate raspberry bourbon cream.
Good.
I want a glass of that right now.
Yeah. It's kind of addicting. I'm not gonna lie. It's like you can suck those things down really quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Lucky
yeah,
we're
they're
recording
really
this.
good.
We can play that back make a recipe from it. That sounds amazing. Yeah.
And everybody always asks me how much. I'm like, I don't know. I just threw it in until it looked right, and I tasted it. No, I need a little more of this. So yeah.
Great. The way every good cook should be cooking, making
right.
cocktails.
And more bourbon. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit more bourbon
Right.
probably
More
is what
bourbon.
the answer is.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it.
And so we haven't had a chance yet to get to Owensboro to check out Green River. If Australians hop on a plane and get over there and can get to Owensboro to come and hang out with you guys, there's some cool experiences you guys have. What can we do?
Yeah, so we are on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. So we do tours 6 days a week. So we do tours Monday through Saturday. We have everything from a full tour that you see everything at the distillery to what we call a sit and sip, which is if you have trouble climbing stairs or you're just not in the mood that day, you can sit, get all the history. You just don't walk around the distillery. We have cocktail classes where you learn how to make cocktails, and then you get to take glasses home and the recipes so you can make it at home. We have barrel thieving tours so that you can go and do a standard tour, but instead of going back to the tasting room, you stay in the rick house, you thieve from the barrel, and you get to taste the product right there, which is really cool.
So cool.
Our rick houses are pretty neat. And then once a month we do a head distillers tour. So once a month you can get a whole private tour with Aaron Harris, our head distiller. If Aaron isn't available, because things happen, and then you'll either get myself if I'm in town, or you'll get our single barrel coordinator, Wes James. And those tours are just great because you don't go in the standard rick house. You sit out there, and it's just really a fun time. So yeah, any of those you would enjoy.
Yeah, well,
I always say.
Sorry, you go, Kate.
No, I was gonna say we're part of the Bardstown Bourbon Company family. We're two separate distilleries. Our Bardstown campus is state of the art, brand new. Our Green River Distillery here, we're old school, so you get to walk back into time. And our buildings are from the 40s and the 50s, and it's really cool. It's a unique experience for sure.
Awesome. Well, it's definitely on our list, and we're so delighted to get to hang out with you a little bit at Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and this has been so much fun. Yeah. So thank you so much, and we'll be back.
No,
we'll be over there.
We'll
come do a tour and hang out in the rick houses and thieve from some of those barrels. That sounds so cool, and definitely like something we want to do. If you can get your hands on, just jump on Google, because you'll be able to find where the Green River bourbons, the wheated bourbon or the high rye bourbon.
We're lucky enough in Australia to be able to get them here.
Yeah.
So.
Easy to get your hands on. Grab a bottle, get a coin to shoot the shoe and enjoy some delicious
Or
bourbon
make
from Green
yourself
River.
a cocktail.
Yeah, exactly.
An old-fashioned or
Yeah,
an
there you go.
espresso martini.
Espresso
There you
martini.
go.
Skip back a few minutes and make yourself something delicious that's dessertier for us too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
Thanks
it.
so much
That's it.
for joining us, Caryn.
Unreal.
Thanks,
Cheers.
you guys. Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you're connected with us on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube, and stay connected with us by clicking subscribe on your favourite podcast app.